Last class we discussed about the acidosis as well as the alkalosis. So in acidosis there is much more formation of the proton ion, due to which there is much more carbon dioxide in the system. Now to prevent short-term acidosis, what the system do is it exhales carbon dioxide to bring back the pH back to normal. Okay, in case of alkalosis, what happens is there is much more formation of either the hydroxide ion or the HCO3 negative ion, due to which the blood pH get increased. Now to compensate for the pH, what system does is it inhales lot of oxygen in order to make more respiration, so that body creates more of the carbon dioxide to prevent the pH normalization, because carbon dioxide is going to decrease the blood pH. Okay, that we understood. So now we need to understand what alkalosis is actually characterized by and what are the symptoms that we are going to see, and these might be asked during your MSQ preparation. Okay, so let's start with the alkalosis. So first of all, it is characterized by increased in blood pH, that we already know about. Okay, increase in blood pH, and blood pH is around 7.4 in normal condition. Wait. So blood pH is around 7.4, but in case of alkalosis it gets to 7.74 up to 8, and 8 is a very dangerous condition. Okay, so the blood becomes alkaline or basic. I hope you know the chemistry. If not, do study. Okay, so to prevent short-term prevention, what body does it? It does hyperventilation. What happens in hyperventilation? So the breathing rate becomes rapid than normal for compensate for carbon dioxide elimination. So here, like I said, cells are going to respirate through the oxygen, and it's going to create carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is going to decrease the pH that we have discussed, right? So if alkalosis is not treated, what happens is it destroys the central nervous system, and it can cause meningitis, there's one N here, encephalitis, and cerebral hemorrhage. Okay, so these are the conditions that alkalosis can do. Now alkalosis can be of two types. Okay, so one is the respiratory alkalosis and another one is metabolic. So in respiratory alkalosis, what is happening? So there is much more rapid decrease of the carbon dioxide, due to which there is an increase in pH, right? And in metabolic alkalosis, what happens is there is much more formation of this HCO3 negative or the OH negative ions, due to which the blood becomes very basic. Now to compensate for that, system does the same thing, but the short-term adjustments are made through breathing, but the long-term adjustment are done through kidney. You do not need to remember how it does that, but in simple scenario, what happens is, so for example, this is our cell, this is our kidney cell. Okay, this is kidney cell. So there is exchange that takes place between the sodium from outside to inside and proton from inside to outside, so that it can bind to the HCO3 negative and it create H2CO3. Now this H2CO3 can be released through H2O and carbon dioxide pathway that we have already discussed. Okay, you do not need to remember all of this for your IIT JAM preparation or any other exam preparation, but you must know about it. Okay, now coming to the acidosis part. So here what happens is blood pH goes down and the proton concentration goes up. Again, so there are two types of acidosis. One is the respiratory and another one is metabolic. In respiratory acidosis, what happens is, so there is much more formation or much more inhalation of this carbon dioxide. So elimination of carbon dioxide is not happening. And in metabolic acidosis, what happens is there is much more generation of the proton ions, and these are due to, in metabolic case, these are due to uncontrolled diabetes. So here the ketoacidosis takes place, or if someone is starving or high protein or low diets, low fat diets. So these are the conditions that actually makes the blood pH go down. Okay, so that you need to remember. Next time, if your doctor asks that eating high protein cause the kidney damage, it does to a level. But if you're drinking enough water, if you are urinating properly, you'll be good to go. Then you do not have to depend on the doctor. Okay. Now coming back to the point. Now to treat this, our body does the same thing again. Okay. So it exchanges proton and it combined with HCO3 negative to form H2CO3, and the carbon dioxide is usually exhaled. So this is this is how the acidosis is being treated. So acidosis can create hypoxia, it can create a renal acid load, it can give diabetes, and it can create hemorrhage. But you do not need to remember all of this because these are usually not asked during your JAM or GAT-B or any other exam. But you must know some of this treatment because it might be asked. It's not as important, but it might be asked. Okay. So in next class, we are going to learn about the hemoglobin buffering system. So which comes under the part protein buffering system because hemoglobin is again a protein. And we also going to look at the phosphate buffer system. If you understood this lecture, comment yes sir, and I'll understand that.